In the heart of ancient Rome, where power struggles shaped the course of history, Cato the Younger stood as a beacon of integrity and stoic resolve. Amidst the rise of Julius Caesar, who declared himself dictator for life, the Roman Senate's integrity began to crumble under his overwhelming influence. Faced with the erosion of the republic he had so fiercely defended, Cato made a decisive and profound choice. Rather than surrender his principles or support a tyranny, he chose to walk away from the Senate, an act not of defeat but of powerful dissent. Today, we're going to explore the concept that sometimes walking away can be your greatest power. This story of Cato is not just a historical anecdote. It's a timeless reminder that when the structures around us no longer align with our values, the act of walking away can preserve our integrity and empower us to seek new avenues where we can make a meaningful difference. If you find this discussion on the power of walking away as impactful as we do, please share this video with someone who might benefit from it. And if you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. Let's get started. Recognizing toxicity. A toxic environment is one that consistently drains your energy and undermines your well-being. It can manifest in various forms, through relationships that leave you feeling belittled or undervalued, or workplaces where stress and negativity prevail. The key signs of toxicity include a persistent feeling of discomfort, where you find yourself constantly on edge, unable to relax or feel secure. Another indicator is the presence of manipulation or constant criticism, which can erode your confidence and self-worth. Stoicism teaches us to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not, urging us to focus our energy only on the former. This philosophy can be particularly helpful when identifying and dealing with toxic situations. In Stoicism, the idea of enduring unnecessary pain goes against the pursuit of virtue and rational living. Epictetus emphasized the importance of reacting to life's challenges with a mindset focused on what we can control, our responses and our attitudes. This teaching can guide us in recognizing toxic elements in our lives, by understanding that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control our proximity to them and our reactions to them. When you begin to notice these signs of toxicity, consider them as contrary to your stoic pursuit of tranquility. Remember, Stoicism doesn't mean enduring hardship stoically, but rather choosing a path that aligns with reason and virtue. The presence of constant stress, disrespect, or unhappiness is a signal, telling you that something in the environment is not conducive to your stoic practice of maintaining a balanced and rational state of mind. Recognizing toxicity is not just about identifying negative aspects of your surroundings, but also about understanding how they affect your ability to live according to Stoic virtues. It is about self-awareness and the courage to make decisions that preserve your well-being, allowing you to walk away from situations that threaten your peace without feeling guilt or regret. This aligns with the Stoic belief in focusing on what is within our power, our decisions, and our mindset. Psychological strengths to walk away. Walking away from toxic situations is an act that requires significant psychological fortitude, a strength deeply resonant with Stoic philosophy. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, often discuss the virtues of inner strength, emotional intelligence, and resilience, virtues essential for recognizing when and how to remove oneself from harmful circumstances. Self-awareness is the first crucial strength. It involves a deep understanding of one's values, limits, and emotional triggers. Stoicism teaches us the importance of self-reflection. By regularly examining our thoughts and reactions, we cultivate a clearer sense of what truly matters to us, distinguishing between what is good for us and what detracts from our well-being. This awareness allows us to recognize toxic environments early on and assess their impact on our mental peace. Resilience, in Stoic terms, is not merely about enduring hardship, but also about adapting and thriving in the face of adversity. It's about bouncing back from negative experiences and learning from them. This strength is particularly valuable when deciding to walk away. It supports the understanding that our well-being sometimes necessitates ending certain engagements, no matter how long-standing or deeply intertwined they are in our personal or professional lives. Emotional intelligence is another vital strength. This involves understanding and managing one's emotions, as well as empathizing with others. For Stoics, emotional intelligence means maintaining equanimity and not allowing external events to disturb our internal state. In practice, this means being able to stay calm and composed, recognizing emotional manipulations or stressors in toxic situations, and handling them in a way that preserves one's peace of mind. Courage is also essential, often highlighted in Stoicism through the concept of moral bravery, the courage to make the right decision even when it is difficult. Walking away often requires confronting uncomfortable truths about one's situation and making a choice that, while necessary, can be initially painful or disruptive. Together, these strengths form a foundation not just for surviving challenging environments, but for thriving in spite of them. Stoicism doesn't just prepare us to detach from toxic situations, it empowers us to do so with dignity and purpose, ensuring that our actions are always aligned with our deepest values and rational assessments. This philosophical approach teaches us that sometimes the most potent action is not to fight against the current, but to remove ourselves from the turbulent waters entirely, seeking calmer seas where we can navigate more effectively toward our personal and professional goals. Establishing and communicating boundaries. In Stoicism, the idea of prohairesis, which refers to the faculty of choice, underpins the importance of boundaries. Our choices reflect our rationality, shaping our lives and interactions. By clearly defining and communicating our boundaries, we exercise this faculty, ensuring that our decisions align with our most reasoned and reflective selves. Establishing boundaries involves introspection and clarity about what behaviors we accept and reject in our interactions. It requires us to know ourselves and our limits profoundly. A Stoic exercises this by regularly engaging in self-reflection, a practice encouraged by Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations. He suggests examining one's actions and motives daily, which naturally leads to a clearer understanding of where one might need to set boundaries. Communicating these boundaries is equally important. Stoicism teaches us to be direct, yet unemotional in our expressions. This can be challenging, especially in environments where emotions run high. However, the Stoic approach would be to communicate calmly and clearly, without provocation or hostility. It's about stating what is acceptable and what is not, in a way that respects both our values and the dignity of others involved. For example, if a colleague regularly interrupts you in meetings, a Stoic response might involve a private conversation where you calmly express how the interruptions affect your ability to contribute effectively. You would specify your need for uninterrupted time to speak, not as a demand, but as a reasonable request that facilitates more productive discussions. Moreover, maintaining boundaries once they are set is an ongoing process. Stoicism offers the virtue of constancy and perseverance for this task. It teaches that maintaining one's philosophical commitments, like maintaining any kind of discipline, requires continual effort and application. When others test our boundaries, responding with consistency, neither explosively nor passively, reinforces our commitment to them. Establishing and communicating boundaries from a Stoic perspective is not about building walls between us and the world, but about defining our space for rational and tranquil existence. It allows us to interact with the world and its challenges in a way that preserves our inner peace and autonomy, crucial for any Stoic aiming to live a life of virtue and reason. Building emotional self-sufficiency. This principle teaches the importance of relying on oneself for emotional stability and satisfaction. This concept is crucial when navigating environments that may not always support or affirm our values or emotional needs. The Stoic philosophy, particularly as espoused by Epictetus, underscores that our happiness and peace of mind should not depend excessively on external sources, be they people, possessions, or circumstances. Instead, Stoicism advocates for a form of emotional resilience that is grounded in self-sufficiency. Epictetus famously said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." To build emotional self-sufficiency, we start by focusing on what Stoics call the internal, our thoughts, perceptions, and reactions. The idea is to cultivate a mindset where our emotional well-being is primarily derived from our internal values and reasoned choices rather than external validation or material success. This doesn't mean isolating ourselves from others or eschewing emotional connections, but rather ensuring that our emotional core isn't unduly influenced by the whims or actions of others. One practical step in this direction is practicing mindfulness and introspection. This involves regularly taking stock of our emotional states and the thoughts fueling them, asking ourselves why we feel a certain way and whether our reactions are proportionate to the actual events. By doing so, we can start to see patterns in our emotional responses that may be disproportionate or grounded in external dependencies. Another step is embracing the Stoic practice of indifference to things outside our control. This doesn't involve not caring about external outcomes, but rather accepting their unpredictability and focusing our emotional energy only on our efforts and intentions. For instance, if a project at work doesn't go as planned despite our best efforts, a stoically self-sufficient approach would focus on the effort put in rather than the outcome. We would take pride in our work and let go of the frustration related to factors beyond our control. Moreover, developing a habit of self-reliance involves setting personal goals that align with our deepest values and pursuing them with diligence and integrity. This builds confidence and a sense of accomplishment rooted in self-directed action, further reinforcing our emotional independence. Ultimately, emotional self-sufficiency, according to Stoicism, doesn't diminish the value of relationships or external achievements, but places them in a healthier perspective where they do not dictate our happiness or self-worth. This approach leads to a more stable and serene life, where our emotional state is largely self-determined and less vulnerable to the turbulence of external circumstances. Practical steps to detach. Detaching from toxic environments or situations is an essential skill, deeply embedded in Stoic teachings, which emphasize the importance of focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. Here are some practical steps to effectively detach, drawing on the wisdom of Stoicism. 1. Identify what is within your control. This is the foundational step in Stoicism. Start by delineating what aspects of the situation you can influence. This could be your reactions, your emotions, and your next steps. By focusing on these elements, you begin to detach from the toxicity by not letting it control your internal state. 2. Reflect and reassess your involvement. Take a moment to critically assess your role and involvement in the toxic situation. Ask yourself if your presence is essential and what you gain from staying in this environment. Stoics, like Seneca, often reflected on the nature of involvement in societal roles and advocated stepping back to gain clarity and perspective. 3. Gradual reduction in engagement. Instead of an abrupt exit, which sometimes isn't feasible, consider gradually reducing your emotional and physical investment in the situation. This could be by slowly decreasing the time spent on toxic projects or limiting interaction with negative influences, thereby minimizing their impact on your life. 4. Use negative visualization. This is a classic Stoic practice where you imagine the worst-case scenario or life without the situation or person causing distress. This mental exercise helps reduce the fear of detachment and prepares you emotionally for the separation. 5. Establish and maintain boundaries. Clearly define what behaviors you will and will not tolerate. Communicate these boundaries assertively and consistently. This is not only a crucial step in detaching, but also in practicing Stoic assertiveness, ensuring that others understand your limits. 6. Seek support and build resilience. Engage with supportive networks or seek guidance from mentors who align with your values. Building a supportive community can ease the process of detachment by providing emotional resilience and alternative perspectives. 7. Practice self-care. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of caring for the soul, and in modern terms, this translates to self-care. Ensure that you are taking care of your physical and mental health during this process, as detachment can be stressful and emotionally taxing. 8. Reaffirm your values. Regularly remind yourself of your core values and why detaching is necessary to uphold them. This reaffirmation helps solidify your resolve and aligns your actions with your philosophical beliefs. By implementing these steps, you can effectively detach from toxic elements in your life, aligning with Stoic principles that advocate for autonomy, emotional resilience, and personal peace. Detachment, as per Stoicism, is not about indifference, but about proactive management of your engagement in ways that preserve your well-being and principles. Long-term benefits of walking away. Walking away from situations that no longer serve our well-being or align with our values offers profound long-term benefits, an idea that resonates deeply with Stoic philosophy. The Stoics, such as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, taught that peace and personal freedom stem from living in accordance with our inner virtues rather than external circumstances. Here are some long-term benefits of walking away, drawing on the wisdom of Stoicism. 1. Increased self-respect and integrity. One of the most significant long-term benefits of walking away is the enhancement of your self-respect. Stoicism places great emphasis on living a life of virtue and integrity. By choosing to leave a toxic situation, you align your actions with your values, which bolsters your sense of self-worth and integrity. This congruence between beliefs and actions fosters a deep internal peace, knowing you have stayed true to your principles. 2. Improved mental health. Detaching from environments or relationships that cause stress and anxiety can lead to noticeable improvements in mental health. Chronic stress can have debilitating effects on both mind and body. Stoicism teaches the importance of cultivating a tranquil mind as a pathway to happiness. By removing sources of significant stress, you allow yourself to return to a state of calm and reasoned existence, which is essential for effective decision-making and personal happiness. 3. Greater emotional stability. When you remove yourself from toxic dynamics, you reduce emotional turbulence. Stoicism advocates for maintaining emotional equilibrium by not allowing external events to disturb your internal state. This stability allows you to react to life's challenges with composure and rationality, rather than being swept away by emotional responses, which often exacerbate difficulties. 4. Increased energy and vitality. Engaging in draining situations can deplete your energy. Once you walk away, you may find that you have more energy to invest in activities and relationships that are genuinely fulfilling and align with your stoic pursuit of a good life. This can lead to increased productivity and a more vibrant engagement with life. 5. Opportunities for new growth. Walking away often opens new doors. When you are no longer tied down by negative influences, you have the freedom to explore new ideas, relationships, and projects that were previously overshadowed by toxic engagements. This aligns with the Stoic idea of focusing on growth and self-improvement, continually seeking to expand one's wisdom and virtue. 6. Deeper relationships. By setting a precedent for what you will and will not tolerate, you attract and deepen relationships with others who respect those boundaries. Stoicism values relationships that are based on mutual respect and virtue. When you walk away from those that don't meet these criteria, you set the stage for healthier, more supportive relationships in your life. 7. Reinforcement of personal agency. Finally, making the tough decision to walk away reinforces your sense of personal agency. Stoicism teaches that we are the masters of our fate through our choices. Each decision to act in alignment with our deepest values reinforces our capacity to shape our lives proactively. Each of these benefits contributes to a fuller, more meaningful life, where your actions are dictated not by the whims of external pressures, but by a reasoned and virtuous understanding of what is best for you. This Stoic approach not only brings tranquility, but also empowers you to live boldly in the pursuit of your highest good. As we close today's discussion on the transformative power of walking away, remember that every step back can be a giant leap towards a life of virtue and inner peace. Thank you for joining us on this journey at Stoic Journal. If you found this video insightful, consider watching one of the suggested videos on the screen to continue exploring the profound wisdom of Stoicism. Thank you for being a part of our community, and until next time, keep embracing the Stoic path to personal freedom and resilience.